Welcome to another episode of Hard Lessons with Demel Hannah. I'm your host, Demel Hannah. So let me see. I've been in Stateville. Well, let me tell you about the differences between when I first stepped in the county and I had never had a cellmate opposed to Stateville. Stateville, they screening process is a little different. Placement, they have a department called placement. Like you could write the placement officer and ask to be placed in this house or this house with this guy or with this guy. Man, I don't think I ever did that in the penitentiary. I don't think I ever asked them to move me in another cell, ever. I'm not bullshitting you. Guys do that all the time. I don't think I ever asked them. In the 17 years that I did in prison, I did 16 months in the county. But let me see. When I went to Stateville, when I arrived in Stateville, the first cell I went to in Stateville was 336 in D House. Stateville got when I arrived there in 1999, they had D House, C House, E House, B House, G Dorm, X House, F House, I House, and H House. H House was PC. I never went there, ever. F House, segregation, been there a few times. I will talk about it. I House, segregation. G Dorm is a dorm really for those inmates that have, over the years, developed seniority within the institution and among officers. So G Dorm is like a retirement unit, for those old timers or just guys that's been, keeping a low profile that probably have gotten in the industry some type of way. X House is kind of like for those old timers, really young guys, but more so guys that work, that have detailed assignments in either the child hall, segregation unit, commissary, clothing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. G-Dorm, they run the industry. X-House, they run all the other details. A lot of guys, the majority of guys that's in X-House have a detail, or you are coming through the institution and they holding you in the X-House to see which cell house they go place you in. That was the first cell house I went to, X-House. D-House. D-House is like a balance of young and old, always have been. C-House, that's the old man cell house. Everybody that's been in Stateville within the last 20 years will tell you, C-House is the old man cell house. E-House, violent young guys with fresh 80s and 90s and life sentences. You go do a lot of motherfucking arguing and fighting and clutching that knife over there in E House. B House is more so young. It's a sprinkle of old cats over there. So D House, it's gonna go down everywhere. But of course, where they're more young, it's gonna always go down, always. So B and particularly E. They get a lot of 10-10s. 10-10s is when the officer need help. You know what I'm saying? For real. They get a lot of 10-10s in E House. So those are the cell houses that existed when I arrived in Stateville in 1999. I believe May or April, one of them. So they put me in D House. They put me in 336. My cellmate was somebody that I was familiar with from Cook County. We was never on the same gallery, but we knew that, you know what I'm saying, we knew what each other was, you know what I mean, and so that was cool for me to get a cellmate that I was familiar with, and we was under the same organization. We had the same ties. we had the same tie. So, when I went up in there, I'm like, damn, what up, homie? And he like, damn, man, what's going on? Like, he happy, but he not. He happy that he see a familiar face, but he ain't happy to see me. You know what I'm saying? Because we in Stateville. He know that they done stretched my ass out too. I think he had 30. So I had 15 more than him. I had 45. So I think he had 30. You know what I mean? We were cellmates for a couple weeks. And we were cellmates for a couple weeks, maybe a couple days or a week or something, and then they moved me upstairs. They moved me upstairs to 530. You know what I'm saying? They moved me upstairs to 530. Or shit. Yeah, he was my cellmate when I first got down there. He was, Joe. He was. Yes, he was. I'm kind of I'm going in my head, but he was. I forgot his name. He would strike you as a Latin guy, but he wasn't though. Yeah, I think he had some of that in him. I think he had, one of his parents probably was Latino or some Puerto Rican, but he was we had the same ties though. You know what I mean? He was my celly briefly, and then they moved me up to 530, and he stayed in D house for a little while longer. Then he left. But he gave me some valuable. It was a piece that I had seen when I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I heard about it. I think I had seen it called A Blueprint for a New Community. You know what I'm saying? So he had gave me that piece. So I wasn't ready. My brain wasn't even ready. Like I synced it in the streets. I definitely wasn't ready then. I forgot. I think one of my homies, rest in peace, Short, I think he gave it to me. But I definitely wasn't ready then. So when he gave it to me in 99, I still wasn't ready for it. It's a deep piece. It's called A Blueprint for a New Community. So I wasn't ready. My brain capacity, it just wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I wasn't ready for it. So I probably perused through it, but I didn't read it. You know what I mean? But my cellmates, the first couple cellmates in Stateville was different than the cellmates in Cook County. You know what I'm saying? They was aggressive. You know what I'm saying? They was aggressive. They was aggressive in this aspect. They didn't give a fuck about your feelings. You know what I mean? They did not give a fuck about your feelings, man. That was the difference between my penitentiary cellmates, like the first three, opposed to my first three cellmates in Cook County. My first three cellmates in Cook County, it was like they had caution, I had caution, so we was cautious of each other. But man, penitentiary, these motherfuckers was aggressive, man. They'll tell you, hey, homie, hey, flush the toilet, man. And you be like, I ain't even dropped a turd yet. And they be like, I don't give a fuck, man. Flush that shit, man. Your ass is on the toilet. Flush it. You know what I'm saying? And you like, okay. What do you say? What do you be like, man, I'm gonna flush this motherfucker when I would. Nah, man, you go get your ass killed trying to be tough. You know what I mean? You go get your ass killed. I was never trying to be tough. I was always trying to learn. That's the objective in prison, is to learn. I knew that. So I'm trying to learn. Okay, cool. All right, cool. They got some thing. I'm learning fast. Like, these motherfuckers here at the penitentiary, they don't like sound. That's one thing I picked up fast. They do not like loud noise. They don't. They don't like loud noise, and they ain't trying to smell. Even though you subjected to loud noise every day, all day in the cell house, you develop this fucking irritation for loud noise. It might be some psychological shit, you know what I'm saying? But I did. Even though, like, when I ride right now, I beat my music in my car. But I don't like to hear nobody else's music. I don't like to hear nobody else shit loud. I do not. I don't know if that's some shit that I picked up in prison. It gotta be. I don't know if that's some type of control thing. I don't know. But what I know is motherfuckers in prison do not like to hear loud noise. We don't like loud noise. I picked that up fast. I did not. I stopped liking loud noise unless it was in my cell. I didn't like lights. I did not like lights, man. I tried to turn them lights off as much as possible. I didn't like lights. I started to not like light. Shit. What else? And smell. You know what I'm saying? And smell, man. Like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, that particular guy, he was like, man, flush. And I'm like, man, I just started shitting. And he like, man, Joe, man, just flush, man. Every time, man, if you fall, just flush. And I'm like, the fuck? You know, because I'm 19. I'm like, man, this dude, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this dude talking about? He want me to flush right now? I ain't even dropped the turd yet. But motherfuckers in the penitentiary is like real anal. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But they like real, like, man, they, I don't know, man. It's some type of psychological thing, man. Because as I talk to y'all about other shit, y'all go see, like, it was different, man. Cook County and the joint is totally different. The people are different. The culture is different. You know what I'm saying? The shit was like, it was like, goddamn it, learning again and again and again so much. You gotta learn so much so fast again. I was like, man, this shit's crazy. But that's what I learned real fast, man. And another thing, like, you gotta be on point. You gotta know, like, you gotta know, like, who you talking to. You know, don't say nothing fair. I remember one time I was talking to this old stone. No. I wasn't talking to him. One of my homies was talking to him, and he was a stone. And the old stone asked him, like, what y'all trying to usurp the organization? And him not knowing words, he said, yeah. Usurp means to overthrow. He said, yeah. And the old stone guy was like, you say what? Like, he asked him, he was trying to get confirmation, like, do you know what the fuck you yan to? And my homie knew what usurp mean. He interjected. He said, no, sir. No, sir. We ain't trying to usurp shit. The penitentiary is way more dangerous. Way more than that motherfucking Cook County. That Cook County is children. You know what I'm saying? It's children. These motherfuckers have been here for 10, 15 years. They so shrewd, man. These motherfuckers is so motherfucking shrewd, Joe. These niggas been in this motherfucker 10, 15 years, man. You can't come here trying to lay the Cook County murder gang down here. This shit ain't gonna work. It's not, man. I promise you, it's not. That shit ain't shit here. You know, you can't come here thinking you're tough, man. Like, this shit was like, man, this shit was like everything that I thought, with the exception of, like even that goofy shit. Everything that I thought I learned in the county, I had to fucking throw that shit away. That shit wasn't nothing. All that shit, don't eat a candy bar. If you go to the child hall and you come back, man, that shit was so 1970 and 80. Can't nobody even get in your cell like that, man. No motherfucker get in your cell like that, man, to put a candy bar on your cell. Your fucking pillow. If you come in your cell and a candy bar on your shit, your cellie is plotting on fucking you, man. That's it. Nobody else but your cellie. If a candy bar is on your pillow, when you come back in that cell, go in on your cellie immediately, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a box, slam it on his head. A TV, slam it on his head, man. If you got a knife, put it in him. Because he's plotting on fucking you. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? Guys tell you that shit in the county, man. Back in the days, man, anybody could do that shit, man. Because the doors, motherfucker could come in your cell. There was a kick outs. You know, but man, ain't none of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that, man. So it was like I had to learn so much shit so fast again. You know what I'm saying? Like the organization, man, it's more intense. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta whatever I picked up in the county and I was able to excel or elevate, man, that shit ain't nothing, man. You know what I mean? That shit ain't nothing, nigga. This the big leagues right here. This some different shit, man. You know, so the cellmates is different. The officers are different. You know, your members, the guys that is tied in your organization are different. Everything is different. Everything is different. So, man, I had to be ready, man. You know what I'm saying? Because in the penitentiary, man, if you make a mistake, man, one or two things go happen. If you make a mistake, a dick go be inside of you, man. For real, man. This ain't no joke. Like niggas ain't raping like how they used to, but man, your celly will fuck you, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, fuck you, Joe. You know, so you make a mistake in the penitentiary, man, you could turn into a female, man, overnight, Joe. That, or a nigga can put some steel in your fucking ass, man, send your ass to PC, man, and forever until you leave the penitentiary. You fucked. You know, so I'm like, man, shit, Joe, this shit is serious. You know, again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, this shit is serious again, man. God damn. You know, so I just tried to be ready. Fuck, man. I tried to learn a whole lot. Now I'm putting more shit in this motherfucking 19-year-old brain, man. I'm stuffing shit in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the penitentiary, man. And the penitentiary is fast. The county is slow. See, you sitting in the cell in the county, you're seeing shit. You know, the penitentiary is fast, man. You know, it's like the big city and shit, man. It's fast as hell. Even when you on lockdown, it's still fast because motherfuckers is plotting. Motherfuckers is moving. You know what I mean? So it's fast, man. It's fast paced. So when I was just trying to pick shit up, man, this shit was hard, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit was fucking hard as shit, but I did